Hello and welcome back to Paranormal NL Podcast, located in Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada. That's PNL Podcast for short. I'm your host and founder, Jen Noseworthy. Thank you for tuning in to UPRN, United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans and 105.3 FM on that Gulf. For tonight's Bigfoot Michigan Raw BMR special on UPRN segment number 44. I've got a special guest waiting tonight backstage from Michigan, USA, who I'll bring on shortly. Now it's time to grab your favorite cold one, a few munchies, and get ready for the cryptid creature show tonight. Paranormal NL Podcast is sponsored by the Bog Team. It's a boots on the ground Bog Team doing historical paranormal investigations in Newfoundland, Canada. PNL Podcast believes in supporting international paranormal networking and highlighting global paranormal people, places, and things. You can follow the PNL Podcast and the Bog Team on their Linktree Paranormal NL Podcast. Now let's get on with the show tonight. I've got all the way from Michigan, Mr. Rob Carnafel.
Hello, Jen. How are you?
Hey, Rob. Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, especially out in our friends in Canada, Newfoundland. Yes, I'm really excited. Woohoo! I'm really
Thanks
excited.
for being on UPRN, United Public Radio Network, and PNL Podcast. So, Rob, tell me about yourself and how did BMR, the legend, come about?
Oh, well, the legend. Well, not quite the legend yet, I don't think, but thank you so much for that. It's kind of weird how this all evolved for me, and it goes back to, well, I didn't realize it went back to my early childhood. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It really, because, my story, is quite strange. I've had a paranormal life, apparently, right, ever since I was like 5 or 6.
Okay, so you got a bit of woo mixed in there with the
yes, Jen,
okay.
I certainly have it all mixed in. I mean, this is a paranormal podcast. I've got the cryptid, I got the paranormal, all of that. And
So what happened in your childhood? Is that what sparked it?
I don't know. Well, here's the thing. When I was 5 or 6 years old, I remember seeing ghosts in my bedroom.
Okay.
And every time I would see these ghosts, I thought perhaps I was dreaming. And I would always wake up and run into my mom and dad's bedroom crying.
Like most kids would, right? Yeah.
Yes. And like most good parents, you're having a nightmare, this, that, and the other. Calm me down and such. So, but this started going on for a little while, for a several month period, where I know that I'm awake and I know that I'm not dreaming. And in fact, one night I seen these ghosts prancing in my bedroom. I woke up my brother, who was a couple years younger than me. And when I woke him up, and I'm still scared, don't get me wrong, but after experiencing it for a while, I was kind of getting used to it.
Okay.
And I woke up my brother, but he saw nothing. So, of course, he started crying, right? So, again, we run to mom and dad's room. So, and again, my parents appeased me. Look, you're just having these nightmares. You're going to grow out of it, or whatever they told me back as a little kid. And then maybe around 7, my mom and dad woke up me and my brother and took us. It was a little too early for grade school, and got us up early because to show us that there was a UFO hovering above our house in the backyard.
Oh,
it was up in the air. I mean, it was up there quite noticeably, maybe 200-300 yards up, or maybe 5,000 feet, 500 feet. And yes, it reminded me of the Lost in Space Flying Saucer, which happened to be a favorite program of mine growing up. But that's
that was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it just went straight up in the air. It was gone. And the odd thing about that, later on the evening news, my mother got me and my brother out of our bedroom. We're doing our homework or whatever we were doing, and that made local news about something unidentified craft. So there was a lot of people that called into the news networks,
right,
in the day, and this is years ago, right? And there was a little, it made like maybe a 15-second note, but as you well know, Jen, it was kind of made fun of, like, oh, these people, this is,
Yeah, back then, I mean,
that
there was
was,
talk about UFO, not like it is now with UAPs and all
yeah.
USOs.
So that was something there. And then for me growing up after that, and then one other briefly, I think I might have seen my first Bigfoot, and I didn't even think about this until later on in life. Might have had an experience with a Bigfoot in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan with me and my brother.
Oh,
But I don't know what it was at the time, and I wasn't scared. I just remember thoughts because as my life went on, I started recalling my childhood and all these experiences that I had. Okay, so then all of a sudden I stopped seeing paranormal things and ghosts. I got married, and sure enough, about a year into my marriage, the same ghost from my childhood occurred in my bedroom with my wife.
y'all came back. Now, did she experience anything?
I woke her up. She saw nothing. You're streaming, go to bed. But it was the same apparitions from my childhood.
Okay.
A year later, she and I both experienced shadow people in our house.
Did she?
Yes.
Now,
Now she and I saw them first, and she had seen them as well, but we kept it to ourselves. We didn't tell each other because we just didn't want to. We just kept it in for a while. Then
right.
one day we both had a talk, and I said, "Hey, I've been seeing these shadow people. You probably think I'm nuts." And she says, "Oh my God, Rob, I've been seeing shadow type images in the house as well."
Did you both have somebody close to you pass, like around a time when you seen them?
Nope, but
Because they're not always scary. They can be benevolent too, right?
well, here's the thing about the entire situation. During this time period, there was a lot of negative energy that we were cast on us. She and I like quit talking. We weren't as loving. I mean, we just kind of did. We just didn't talk much. She was having a bad time at work. I was having a bad time at work. It was just negative. So again, one day we had an investigator come to our house back in the day, and they found the source. We were collecting all of these artifacts because we would used to go to thrift shops, mom and pop shops,
Okay. Yeah,
and
yeah.
we collected a bunch of these collectibles,
You
odd,
brought something
strange.
home. Okay.
Yeah, and so, but we never put them out because we were working on a room to buy curio cabinets, and then one day we put them up one day in this room, and then after a few days after we put this up is when the problems started having, and then when we had this investigative lady come on in, she walked through the whole house until she got to that room, and when she got to that room, she goes,
She knew.
"This is the source." Long
Okay.
story short, got rid of the objects. I put them in my garage because I didn't really want to throw them out. Then the next spring, during spring cleaning, I was in the back and I had all the objects in the back right corner of the garage. And guess what I saw on the back far wall of the garage? A shadow person.
Oh,
Called out
hanging out with the stuff. Yeah.
hanging out with the stuff. Excuse me. And so call out the wife. She doesn't see it for a minute. Then it reappears itself. And then I got rid of this stuff. Got rid of it, took it out, and put it where I put it, off my property.
So where did the Bigfoot come into the picture?
Well, here's the thing. Here's where we move into where I am today. Of course, my wife and I, we ended up getting a divorce down the road. So after that, thank you. That's fine. It's been a while ago. I was in my late 20s.
Oh, yeah.
I'm much older now.
You don't grow any brains until you're in your 30s.
Yeah, you're right about that, And so nothing went on for several years now. Now I'm doing my thing, working, ended up buying a bar, open my own business. And then everything really came full circle on June 15th of 2018 with my girlfriend Cindy at the time.
Okay.
I told her, I said, Cindy, we're going to take I got a little trip for us. We're going to go to Cadillac, Michigan, Lake Cadillac, in Wexford County in the Manistee National Forest. And I want to do some fishing, show you how to fish, and we can hang out, do what you want to do. There's a lot of cool shops and restaurants. So everything that you could want to do, but I just want to go on the lake, do some fishing. She agrees to it. And during this time, I had a friend in real estate, and he hooked me up with a cabin that I rented for a nominal fee that we stayed
Nice.
at. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also provided me with a very small, almost like a skiff, little fishing boat, really like a 2-man fishing boat that he let us use as well to
Sounds like a
propel.
nice setup. Yeah. Nice
So it's a
deal.
great
Mhm.
setup. The boat was a little small, but hey, you know what? For free, I took it. And now Lake Cadillac is a nice sized lake, and it's also connected to another lake called Lake Mitchell, a nice sized lake. And you can easily find it on the map, Cadillac, Michigan Lake Cadillac, right? So, and it's surrounded again by the Manistee National Forest. And the Manistee National Forest encompasses from Lake Michigan, the coast, all the way to the coast on the east side of Lake Huron. I call it the coast because, quite frankly, the Great Lakes are like inland seas, right?
Right. They're huge.
Huge. I mean, if you're in the middle of Lake Michigan or any of the Great Lakes, you would think you're on the ocean. We don't
I
see land
know.
for miles and miles, right? So the morning we get up the next morning to do some fishing. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. And we're on Lake Cadillac. Now, Lake Cadillac is built up pretty nicely. A lot of beautiful homes, a lot of small businesses. And again, the forest line is there. And we went out fishing. Now, it was the first time Cindy ever went fishing.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Yeah, of
Now,
course.
did she put the worm on the hook?
No, of course she
That's the
did
ultimate
not.
test, right? No.
No, she did not put the worm on the hook. She didn't. But she wasn't a girly girl, but I just took charge and wanted to do it right. So yeah, however, about an hour in, Jen, we're not even getting a nibble. So we said, well, this is a beautiful little lake. Let's do some exploring. So we kind of reel in the rods, the reels, and we do our exploring.
Okay.
We're looking at all the beautiful houses, this, that, and the other, nature. And then I came across this canal. Now, this canal connected to Lake Mitchell. So I took this canal down through I took the canal down from Lake Cadillac to Lake Mitchell and get on Lake Mitchell.
Did you
Again,
have the portage across, or you just go straight through the
you
water?
just go straight through. It's kind of, and on both sides, it was kind of a built up cement wall. And
Okay. Yeah.
alongside the wall, there was actually some other shops. So it was kind of touristy. But
Okay.
the canal's maybe 50 yards. It's nice, it's sizable, maybe not quite that long.
And you're not feeling spooky or scared yet while you're
No,
out?
we're just having a great day. It's a beautiful day. It's sun aside, and I got to paint the picture of this too, because you got to picture this because this comes into play a little later. Brilliant blue sky, sun is high, the beautiful lush forest. Because now when we get on Lake Mitchell, it is more of the Manistee National Forest backdrop, lush green wood line dropping right down into the lake.
Nice.
Yes, there are other houses along the shoreline that are built up, of course, but it's not quite as expansive with the infrastructure that Cadillac is. So we're traversing about on the boat, this little 2-man skiff, and I proceed probably down to the southwest, and I find this cove. I said, honey, this is the perfect spot. I feel we're going to get lucky here. So I had a little
Get lucky.
Got lucky. Yeah, we got lucky.
Oh,
All
sorry, I
right.
had to say that.
No, we did get lucky. Yeah, well, the luck turn kind of, as you'll find out, wasn't very lucky. But with that being said, so I put the troll motor on the skiff, and we're kind of trolling. Now we're 90 feet from the shoreline, and again, the forest drops right into the water, and there's a few openings along the shoreline for where maybe you could set up a picnic table and 2 lawn chairs and hang out, but nothing. It's not like a beachfront or anything. So,
Right. Yeah.
so I'm looking down into. I'm getting the gear together, getting the tackle together. So I'm putting the bait on, and Cindy's kind of looking out, admiring the beautiful forest backdrop and the water and everything, and she says, "Hey, Rob, I think somebody's throwing rocks at the boat."
Uh-oh.
And I says, really? And I look up to the shoreline. Well, there's nobody there. I see nothing. I said, hey, it's probably some fish jumping around. Our luck is going to change. She goes, yeah, okay, well, maybe. So about 30 seconds later, she more emphatically says, hey, Rob, someone's throwing rocks at the boat. I look up, there's no one there. I said, honey, do you see anybody on the shoreline? She goes, no, but I swear I just seen some rocks hurled toward us from the tree line. I said, let me tell you, while we do this, let me get our gear together, and then we'll start fishing, and then you and I can look together. So again, I'm looking down into the boat, again, reconfiguring the line. And for whatever the reason, Jen, I look up, bright blue sky, this object is falling from the sky. And I'm looking, I said, I'll be damned. It's a rock about the size of a baseball. It lands no more than 3.5 to 4 foot, kerplunk, right in front of the boat.
And there's no campers around screwing
Nothing.
around, or
This
kids or
is
anything?
secure. This is on like a Wednesday, June 15th, 2018. No holiday. People are mostly at work. We really had this section of the lake to ourselves. It was beautiful, nice and secluded. I looked to Cindy, and she is staring, deadpanning right into the tree line.
Uh-oh.
I've got to say something to you. At this time of the summer already, Cindy was a sun worshiper. She already had a blazing tan going at this point of the summer. And when I looked at her from head to toe, Jen, her body was like drained, almost white. That tan was not there.
No.
She's
She
pale.
saw something. She's looking at something scary.
Yes. And I looked, what the hell is she looking at, right? I looked at the tree line, and there it is standing there. It has to be about 8.5 to 9 feet tall. It's a humanoid-looking creature. It's covered from head to toe in reddish brown hair.
Reddish brown. Okay.
Reddish brown, and his arms are on its side. It's very robust, like a barrel. It had been 4 foot wide. This thing was humongous. And again, Jen, we're like only 90 feet away. That's pretty close, especially for the size of this thing. And I get a really good look at the face.
I mean, you being up in that area, you know what a bear looks like. You know,
yeah,
it's not a orangutan, it's not a bear, right?
No,
now, this thing you're looking at, was it more? Well, to me, it sounds more Bigfoot than Dogman.
Well,
Dogman is skinny, isn't he?
Manistee National Forest is known for Dogman as well. But at this time, I know nothing of Bigfoot or Dogman. I knew about the Patterson-Gimlin film. I knew about Bigfoot and kind of believed, because I watched Leonard Nimoy as a kid.
Right.
But the face is human looking, but it's an odd looking human. The face is deformed. I always tell people it looked like it had a stroke or maybe Down syndrome, because the right side drooped
a little bit.
The eyes were offset, and it had this crusty gray, gray skin. It did have the reddish brown hair covered and draped down. Beautiful coat of hair, by the way. Beautiful. But the face was like a gray, and the chest was gray as well, and then the rest was surrounded by hair. And it was just kind of looking at us, kind of docile, and kind of like, just like, standing there. But within minutes... Do you
think it was surprised to see you? Or...
I think it probably might have been, but here's the thing now, and I think it was, and I think it got maybe scared or frightened, because what happens next... It takes its arms from the side and it lifts them parallel to the water out like an airplane.
Right.
And then that skin, that face, all of a sudden its jaw distends down and drops down maybe 3 or 4 inches.
Uh-oh.
It opens its mouth. The mouth was wide. You could fit a softball in it.
Oh, my
exposing a set of teeth up top and on the bottom. But that's all that I noticed. But that grayish, crusty skin... And the eyes are at this point are like a white opaque, but the eyes roll back black.
Mm.
The skin tautens from the gray and it turns almost like a purplish dark color. And then from inside its body, it kind of leans back and it roars all in unison without moving the mouth, which is in gaping. All in unison, like a roar, a scream, a yell, all at once. We're on the boat. Cindy is standing up at this point, mind you, and I can feel the reverberation cast.
Like the infrasound, right?
Yeah, or maybe like a sonic blast. You ever see like when a bomb
Yeah.
hits and you see
Mhm.
that
Yes.
invisible?
Pushback. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I didn't see that, but it's kind of in my head would remind me of because I got hit and I stumbled sitting down a little bit. Cindy standing up got hit with that, and she's only about 109 pounds, 5'1" at the time. She flips off the boat into the water.
Oh my gosh.
Here is what was crazy. After I get hit with this, it could be infrasound. Some people suggest ultrasound, whatever. There's many theories.
So you're both freaking out because she's in the
Well,
water
she's
and
in the
there's this
water.
thing in the woods. You don't know what it
I
is.
don't know what it is, and I'm freaking out because I can't move. I'm paralyzed. And the reason I wanted to make sure I told you that I describe how beautiful of a day it was, beautiful blue sky, lush green woods, the lush color of this creature, everything dulled. It seems like time stood still. It looks like my eyes were looking through a grainy filter, and everything now is like black and white.
Yeah, a lot of people say that there's some like time, almost like when you go have an experience with the UFO, the same thing happens with Bigfoot, right?
I've heard that, yes, but it was so bizarre because now I'm paralyzed and I'm trying to move to my right to get Cindy, but I can't move. So in my head, I'm trying to shake my head. I'm starting to shake my head a little bit. Said, Rob, snap out of it, snap out of it. Then I did. I snap out of it.
And we're hoping Cindy can swim or she got a life
She
jacket
knows
on.
how to swim, yeah, but she was almost getting up kind of halfway in the skiff. But when I snap out of it, I regain my cognizance, color comes back to me. I'm back to normal time or whatever you want to call it, whatever I was in prior.
Right.
And I get her in. She's shaking, freezing, of course, scared, more traumatized than anything. And I don't know. I guess I'm traumatized. I don't know what just happened to
Right.
me.
Yeah.
I don't know what I just saw. And I don't know what happened in my body and my vision. And I look to the shoreline, this thing's gone, which was very scary because I don't know what this is, where it's at. Is it swimming under the water after us? Is it going to get us? Things like that. So we whipped that little boat around and I just opened it up and I jettisoned across Lake Mitchell. I got through, I'm not even cognizant of what's around me. I'm just blasting on the lake and I get through the canal. I get to Lake Cadillac and I'm just looking for shore close to where we launched the boat at. I get somewhere close by there, pull the boat up, dock it, get Cindy out, put a towel on her. She's freezing. She's cold. It's like 85, 83, 82 degrees, whatever. Very warm.
She probably doesn't want to go fishing again anymore. No.
Probably not. And then, no, not at all. And hell, I'm like, geez, oh, Pete's. So I'm looking ahead for some place to go sit down. So I found this little bar restaurant on the corner.
Like when you were going down the lake, were you looking on the side to see if this thing was paralleling you or?
Well, when I seen it, you mean?
Well, when you tried to escape.
When I escaped, no. When I look back to the shore, it's gone.
Yeah.
And when I turned it around, I didn't look to the left where it was. I just
You just
opened it up.
booked it.
I booked it the hell out of there. I wasn't even thinking about. I didn't want to see it again. So hopefully I can outrun this thing.
Okay.
So it probably wasn't chasing me. But anyway, I don't know. Who knows?
They say they follow you, right?
They follow you. Yeah, they know where you live. But anyway, in some instances. But anyways, get into this bar restaurant, and again, like I say, everyone's probably working. There's hardly nobody in there. I look to the right, and there's nobody there. I look to the left, and there's a bunch of booths on the side, and I went back to the far corner. The waitress comes, and we both sit down. Cindy across from me, so on and so forth. And
at that point, you're ready for a cold one.
Yeah. Well, in fact, this is so funny about Cindy, because when the waitress came up, Cindy wasn't a drinker. Now, despite the fact that I owned a bar, she never drank a day since I knew her. I knew her maybe going on 2 years at this time, right? So Cindy orders a bottle of Bud Light and a shot of Jack Daniels, which I'm like, oh boy, yep,
Oh,
yep,
we're getting into it now.
yeah. And then the waitress looks at me and says, "Sir, what are you having?" I said, "I'll have the same, make mine a double." So she takes her order. We're looking at each other, and Jen, we're not even talking yet. We're just kind of looking at
You're
each
in
other.
shock. You're in complete shock, right?
Yeah, we don't even
You're
know
trying
what.
to digest what
Yeah,
TWF happened.
yeah, you're exactly right about that. And then Cindy finally says to me, "Hey, honey, what do you think that was?" And then I threw it back at her. I said, "I don't know, honey. What do you think it was?" Then she says, "I don't know, but I think maybe it was maybe that Bigfoot creature." And I'm like, "Yeah, but this was odd because what I forgot to tell you is when it did that roar and scream, how it changed his face over. That face changed 1,000%. It looked almost demonic to me, you know."
Like a
And I'm
shapeshifter, maybe? Or
yeah,
do you think
kind
it
of.
was a werewolf? Or
Yeah, it just changed its total look from that timid, docile
do you have like
human.
Wendigo in Michigan?
We got everything in Michigan. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wexford County, you're going to find, is the capital of Dogman. The Manistee National Forest has got a lot of sacred and cursed lands.
yeah.
Very spooky. A lot of spooky things happen with Bigfoot, Dogman, Wendigo, ghosts, legends of the First Nations casting spells on certain folks.
Ooh,
And yeah, that's
okay.
it's got a history dating back to the 1800s.
We got to give a shout out also to our friend Al Santoriga, the Bronxville Paranormal Society, and he's with a lot of the Dogman,
Yeah.
and he's with also with the Bigfoot, all the
Yeah.
different
Oh,
societies.
yeah, El's a great guy. He's
My
been on my
cat
show.
just fell off something.
Yeah, yeah. El's cool. I met El a few years ago. Great guy. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I just
so
seen. Yeah, he was on my show. So, long story short, okay. So we're sitting there. I said, I don't know. What do you think it was? I said, I don't know. She goes, I think it's that Bigfoot creature. And so now the drinks arrive, and Cindy takes that shot, and she pours it back like she's been drinking 20 years. Takes that bottle of Bud Light.
poor
She does
Cindy.
half a bottle gone. She drank better than I did. I drank my shot,
So
sipped,
what did you guys conclude? Like, what did you figure out, or did
So
you figure
here's
out anything?
so here's how the story goes. So we don't know. And she says, should we go to the DNR, report it to the sheriff? I said, Cindy, hell no. I don't know what are we gonna tell him?
Do you
She
think
was
it's because you were fishing in his area, his honey hole, his fishing hole?
you know what? There's many theories, again, this happened in 2018, and I started my podcast and started getting friends in this field right around 2019.
Right?
All so many theories. So we said no, and so it kind of wrecked the weekend. So we came home, and what we did now is we immersed ourselves into Bigfoot, demons, the national park, Cadillac, finding images that didn't really resemble anything we saw,
Different theories and stuff.
different theories. So yeah, we just opened our hearts out to this, right? And we were totally trying to figure out what this was.
Another shout out here to you and Brian Bowden,
Oh yeah, Brian, great guy as well.
Third Eye Live. He
Yeah, he's
talks
a
a lot
great
about
guy.
different Bigfoot things and
Oh yeah,
different theories. And
he's an awesome guy. I love Brian. And so here's the thing. This is what put me on the path I'm on today. Not so much this experience, but I got to tell you something. This experience was June 15th of 2018. And I get a call. Cindy and I did not live together at the time because she lived with her mom, very religious. And her mom did not like me at all, Jen, because I owned a bar. We never spoke.
okay.
But I thought it was odd that she called me the morning of August 15th, 2018, exactly 2 months after our encounter. She calls me to tell me that Cindy passed away.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She
I'm so
died.
sorry.
She died. And I'm like, what in the hell are you talking about? I guess preliminary indication of heart attack. I said, "Bull BS, a heart attack. She's healthy. She don't do nothing. How can this be?" Well, Rob, I'm just telling you, and I blame this all on you. She's not been the same ever you got back from that little vacation.
How many days was it again? I know you told me the
2
days.
months exactly to the
2
date.
months.
8
Okay.
weeks. 8
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
So I blame
Did you
this on you.
talk with her after about it? Like, was
No,
she
but
totally shook up, or?
me and my girlfriend talked about daily, every day. Like I said, for 8 weeks, we were immersed ourselves in the subject, trying to make contacts, talk to people, to no avail. To no avail at this particular time. I'm not allowed to the funeral. I don't know how she died to this day. That's a mystery. I can't get autopsy reports. No one tells me nothing. I can't. Her mom has since passed away as well. She has no brothers and sisters, so I don't even know how my girlfriend died.
That's
so
so
when
sad.
that happened to me, I went in a deep dark place. I owned my bar. I went in and talked to my manager. I said, "Look, I'm taking a leave of absence. You're in charge. Just put the money in the bank. Don't rip me off. I trust you. I've known you for like 7 years." "Rob, what's up?" I said, "I just can't tell you. I don't even start this with you." So I kind of was gone. I was gone. I was really, no, I tell you what, I was emotionally.
I mean, that was a big event in your life for sure, 100%.
I was emotionally out of it. I thought,
Is that what sparked you to write these books?
It did. So I finally snapped out of it. I was in a dark spot. And one day I just found the right people, and they said, "Rob, you should tell everyone about your encounter. That's the best therapy."
That's right. Find your people, find your tribe.
So I
and that's
found
the great
my
thing
tribe.
about us paranormal folks, because we tend to stick together,
Yep. I finally found my tribe. Now, it took me a while because many people, first of all, the judgment, the ridicule that I first went through in the beginning was just boring. It was just,
well, they can
terrible.
go suck it, right?
They were mean. They were mean.
It's unfortunate that still sometimes exists in some communities, but I mean,
it still exists today. I mean, let's face facts. People in cryptid and paranormal are assholes. Some of them, not all, but there's a group. Hey, they just want to troll you, make fun of you, and call
but the true experiencers, they get it, right?
Experience. Well, I get it. So today I don't call myself a believer. I'm a knower. So finally found my posse, my tribe, my spiritual connection, and then yes, little foreshadowing. You called it correctly. I wrote 2 books because these books are all with people in anonymity. They don't want to come on my show because of fear of being judged.
Right.
So they asked me to either do them on my shows. I got the green light on that, and I got the green light to put their stories in the books. Much like I do then I started the YouTube channel, which was basically, it's, as you might have seen it, it's an interview show with experiencers and researchers, and I have all sorts of guests, and we also do storytelling shows. So what it is it's an avenue.
And for the folks on UPRN, you want to tell them which 3 things you're talking about here?
Oh yeah, I have a YouTube channel my YouTube channel is simply called Bigfoot Michigan Rob. And then I do shows Tuesday night at 9 in the East, Thursday afternoon at 1 in the East, and Saturday night at 11 in the East. And those are all talk shows. The Tuesday night show is the big interview show where I bring on guests from the paranormal and cryptid world that are either researchers or experiencers. And the other shows are panel shows with a variety of guests throughout the week. So I'm on 3 days a week. So that's what I've been doing since like 2020. Well, I officially started the channel maybe in 2020.
Then you got Beyond BMR, right?
Beyond BMR, yeah. Well, the name of the show is okay. Tuesday is called Brunch with Bigfoot. Tuesday is called Beyond BMR with Krista. Thursday is Brunch with Bigfoot, Mr. Rob, and Monica. And then Saturday night is called Late Night into the Bizarre. That's with Krista, Brandy, and Monica. So I have all women co-hosts. My buddy Tex used to be, but he got his hours changed. But he's with Texas Front Porch. So yeah. So I started doing this, and I must tell you, it's been the best therapy I can do. I've had so many people, and I'm not bragging when they tell me this. Thank you for hearing my story. thank you for putting the book. Thank you for having me on your show and it makes me feel great because I was lost and alone. I walked in darkness and lost and alone for a long time, not knowing what end was up until I was lucky enough to find my group and put together what we built together. Because we're kind of a nice little enterprise of us all together we have a bunch of different networks, I guess you call it. I don't know.
Yeah, you got a big crowd.
Yeah, and so that's really how I got involved with all this. You mean the Bigfoot Michigan Rob name was simply because about in 2019, someone suggested just do a quick video, and I didn't even have a handle. So I said, well, how do I do it? Well, you got to get a handle, this, that, and the other. So I said, well, my name's Rob. I live in Michigan. I saw Bigfoot. Hence, that's how Bigfoot Michigan Rob even got formed, the name. And it stuck with me as my handle when I would go in chat groups. So yeah, so that's how I am where I am today. And then now I'm so open-minded because now I look back, as I mentioned way earlier about my childhood, it kind of all makes a lot more sense to me.
Right.
People say I've always had this throughout
full circle
life, right? It has come full circle for me.
Definitely. And, when you're talking about, Bigfoot and stuff like that, do you ever have like certain questions like how climate change, for example, is affecting the Bigfoot? For example, off air, myself and you were talking about forest fires because you're starting to smell our Canadian smoke down there. And
yes, we are.
we got to give some prayers to everybody experiencing the fires.
Sure.
A lot of fires here in Newfoundland, all over Canada, all over the place. And the weather is just like to the max between floods and fires. How do you think that Bigfoot is handling that? Is it pushing them to different areas, or how do you think that they're handling all the climate change?
I certainly would think that even with these forest fires, yeah, they definitely have to evacuate. Now, some people suggest they live underground.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that hey, listen, I'm not going to say I don't believe or trust theories. I'm open to all theories. To me, I think they live above ground, and I think they probably migrate and get the heck out of there.
Yeah.
Do you remember way back? Was it St. Mount Helens that erupted?
I think.
And then all the dead Bigfoot were allegedly found along the shoreline.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's one of the big mountains that exploded.
Yeah, because they're trying to say that we're going to have another earthquake coming up because the Ring of Fire is going nuts with all the earthquakes.
That's what you mentioned, Sir Brian Bowden, and he believes that's something weird is going to happen. And there was already an earthquake just today in Hawaii. Did you see that? A volcano exploded.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, like, what's going on out there? And how is this affecting the wildlife, like you just mentioned, right?
Yeah, and not just the Bigfoot and the cryptids. Yeah, I think that, to answer your question, they're migrating out of Dodge. I think so.
Oh, and 100%.
And now if they go underground, fine. I often find that this is a great point, kind of to what you mentioned. I find too, like in these surrounding areas, the rural areas that are encompassed in the woods, and the timber industry is in there building new homes. A lot of people are having Bigfoot in their backyards because they're being forced out because of all the construction going on. So you have a lot more people having sightings of Bigfoot just due to pure construction.
True. Yeah, that would be one.
That's one thing.
Yeah. And we got to give another shout out to Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones. Yes, she's awesome.
Cryptid Huntress.
Yay, Jessica. Yeah. So I know I've grown a lot. I've gotten so I tell you what, all the images you've shown of all the people who've been on my shows and stuff, great people. Everybody. That's why I love.
I haven't give half the shout outs. Like, I mean,
oh, I know. I tell you what,
there's so many people. Like, we got to give a shout out to Chucky Danger, Charles Stevens, right?
Yeah, everybody. I must have a I've done like 400.
Jay Patochin. Who else?
I mean, there's so many. There's so many I can't even name.
Stevie Strange.
I can't even name.
Yowie Central over in, we were Sarah Bignell. I remember when I was talking to Sarah Bignell in Yowie Central in Australia. She mentioned the bushfires, and that people who were putting out the fires had. I think she had said that they seen them running.
Yep. Sarah's awesome. She referred
Yeah.
to each other as she's my sister from another mother, and I'm her brother from another mother.
Love it.
She's been on my show. I've been on her show. In fact, I just talked to her 2 days ago.
Oh, and I forgot to mention Will Devening, because with the JRG research and with Joe De Hoyos. I mean, there's so many different people.
I find
I
that
shout out to everybody, but we can't even mention them all, right?
I find that I don't even try that anymore because I'm the type of guy that feels bad when I don't mention somebody.
Right, yeah.
Because there's hundreds. Literally, there's hundreds.
Literally. Yeah.
I personally have probably done over 200 interviews, 250.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, you've got so many different shows and stuff on to go.
Yeah.
And how you said you've been doing this now for a long time with your podcasting.
Yeah, the podcast scene for this is my 4th year. I started the 4th season.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
a lot of different stuff. Do you ever get any other like questions about like gifting and things like that? Like, what do you think about that?
I will tell you this. I don't think that it's wise to give food. I've got friends that maybe give marbles or rocks and stones, because I find that a lot of people I've spoken with, they give food, like peanut butter is an example, right? They'll give Bigfoot a peanut butter jar of Jiffy or whatever.
Every animal loves peanut butter.
They do, and then they love it.
I wonder, does he like Reese's peanuts?
Oh, I tell you, I think Reese's is preferred. No, but
just like E.T.
But you got to watch yourself with gifting food, because once you stop, they get pretty ticked off, and then you're going to get them out of the property pounding on the side of your house.
Well, that's the same way with the crows, right? You give them, I guess our crows a wiener every morning. If you miss one day, that's it. They're pounding on the window. Hey, lady.
And I will tell you this.
Our wieners.
I will tell you this. The one thing about me and Bigfoot, since I had that, my experience was terrible, obviously, for many reasons. The majority that I come across are pretty docile and not too bad. But the thing is, I don't think I'd want them like on my property, bugging me all the time.
No, because we were just talking about, what is it? Is it a shapeshifter? Is it demonic? I mean, you were just saying, we don't know what it is.
We do not know what it is. And
again, a lot of people look down on the ground. What about looking up in the trees?
People don't look up. And
they could be in the trees, right?
I will tell you this. People walk by, people in the forest, hunters and campers that don't care about Bigfoot, have no clue. I'll guarantee you, and they say, a hunter will say, I've been hunting for 30 years, never seen a Bigfoot. I say, well, you haven't been looking.
Yeah.
Because you probably
I keep thinking about that show, Alien versus Predator or something.
Oh,
the Predator thing up in the tree.
But you know what? That shimmer, that cloaking.
Yeah.
So
you believe in some woo too, not just biological?
Oh, I believe in the woo. When it comes to Bigfoot, I think it's a combination of paranormal and flesh and blood. I think it's both. I don't think it's one or the other. I think they're dimensional. I think the Dogman is dimensional and demonic. That's something that I would not want to come across.
No.
In fact, I don't even know if we have time, guys. Do have a story if you want me to share it.
Yeah, throw it out. What do you got? Dogman story?
This should be a Dogman one, but it can go either as a entity of the demonic or the dark side, or it could be dimensional. And there's so many stories I've done. I've done over 100 stories in 2 books. So I had my problem was, do I make 2 books or 1 big book? I said, you know what, break it up into 2.
Make it digestible, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Make it easy read.
People get scared when the book is too big, don't they?
I've tried to write. I've tried to read the book a million times, but at 1,500 words, and I never get past 500 pages.
And it's too heavy; it drops out of your hand when you're lying in bed.
And it's small words. I'm getting older. I can't see at night. So I'm gonna have to maybe try the Audible book. I don't know.
All right, so we got a Dogman story. What do we got?
Okay, so this is in the book, and it's one of my people.
Book 1 or 2?
This is in book 1.
Book 1. Okay, I'll throw that up.
Or maybe book 2. I forget.
Okay, I'll put book 2 back.
They all write together for me. I've told 1,000 stories in my life. But I'm going to get on with this because this guy sent me this email. And this guy, he is really a disturbing man. And he got mad at me.
Did he?
Because I told him he was a very odd, disturbing man. And then I haven't heard from him since. but you'll get to understand this in a few minutes.
Okay. All right.
I just don't, say that to people. I'm really pretty nice guy. I really am. So I get this. I'm reading through this email, several emails that I got, and this is from a preacher man. I think he called himself Preacher Ray. That's what he told me.
Right.
He was more of one of these transient preachers. He says, Rob, he is a preacher. He's been through all the deep, poor, poverty-stricken parts of the South. And he happened to come across this town in Mississippi. And he says that's where he was attracted to go with the poor and preach his preachings. Can't tell you what they are, to be honest with you. Never really was specific, okay? So he found this congregation in Mississippi, deep in the deep South, and he found a place to set up his place of, I don't know if you even want to call it worship, whatever, right?
Right.
Synagogue.
Yeah.
So he sets it up. He starts gathering this following, and they would come see him every Saturday or Sunday, whatever day it was, and he would do his preachings. One day, this young couple, new into town for maybe about 6 to 8 months, very young, early 20s, came up to this preacher man, Ray, and they had said that they would like him to come and bless their home.
All right.
And so he says, well, what do you have going on? And they said, well, we have to tell you that we've been getting these visions at our window each and every night about this Doberman Pinscher that is all in a white coat. Now, I've never seen a Doberman Pinscher in a white coat, but I guess they do exist. I looked into that. Doberman Pinscher, white coat with these red glowing eyes. And every night it would come to the window.
Like an albino, right?
Yes, almost like standing there peering into their bedroom window every night. And this was going on for several days. And then he says, well, come back, keep coming to my sermons, and I'll see what I can do about it. So a few weeks go by, and this young couple says, hey, it's gotten worse. He still is coming once or twice per week, but now he is this dog, whatever it is, I don't know what to call it at this point, is now projecting disturbing images into their mind.
Ew, that's not good.
Yeah, very disturbing images.
Okay.
So they're getting scared. And so the preacher man says, well, no, I'm not going to bless your house. I think that you young folks need special help. Go see a psychiatrist, a doctor. Which right off the bat, when I was reading that, Jen, I thought, this guy's a jerk. You're a preacher, man. So supposedly, you're there to help. Go to their house and check it out. They want help.
Or was he afraid to go?
Perhaps. Or they're in their 20s, for gosh sakes. So this went on, and he kept turning them back. And, first of all, there ain't no psychiatrist in the poor deep South. You got to travel. There ain't nobody setting up shop down there where there's no money. Let's face it.
No, nobody's going to go to their house unless it's online or something.
Yeah, money speaks. That doesn't, unfortunately, in today's society, you know that. So, but then this young couple was starting getting haggard looking, starting to look unhealthy. Begged this preacher man. He kept turning a cold shoulder. So one day, the preacher man has his biggest sermon ever, big turnout, and he was like kind of, gung-ho about it, geeked. Well, they were only there because they were out pointing the finger at him, and they said, how come you didn't help that young family? What do you mean? Well, the man took a shotgun to his wife and then turned the gun on himself. They both no longer live here.
Oh my gosh.
So the preacher man, falls to his knees, blah, 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 crying, asking for forgiveness, playing the part, right?
Right.
So this entire town decides to get together, and they decide to have a town hall meeting, discuss what they should do with this preacher, and they want to put the preacher on a town trial and question him, which he agreed to. So he gets in there. and there's a big congregation of people to come to this little town hall, and the preacher man again is beset himself, and he starts crying, and he's on his knee, falls to his knees, begging the town for forgiveness. Then he's calling out to the Lord how he failed him, this, that, and the other. Then he says, "Hey, Rob," and all of a sudden there's the hands put on my shoulder, and it's the sheriff of the town. And it says, "Preacher man Ray, just get up off your knees, man. I have something to tell you. I've experienced that same thing that young couple has."
Oh, wow.
And then the people at this congregation, this town hall, started coming forth, raising their hands. They all did too.
No way.
So there was a big handful of these folks that had the same exact experiences as our deceased young couple.
Yeah, that's fishy.
And they all started feeling the guilt that they themselves did not help out this couple and told the preacher man, despite it was your job, we want to tell you there's something going on here and you need to take action. So
that's so sad.
Very sad, very sad. So preacher man, again, a transient, goes from town to town. The next day, he's decides he's skipping town. So I guess he packs up all his clothes, gets them together, and he puts his luggage out on his front porch, getting ready to take off. He goes back in the house, doing whatever, tidying up or whatever, writing a note. Whatever he's doing. I don't know. And then there's a little rap at his door, a little knock at his door. He goes to the door. There's nobody there. Then he looks down off to his right. He sees this big wicker basket. And there is a towel on top of this wicker basket. Then he notices movement from underneath the towel. Goes over to the wicker basket, peels back the towel. A white Doberman Pinscher pup.
Yeah, that's weird.
In the basket. He picks it up, throws his bags in his car or whatever he was driving in or whatever, goes to the sheriff's office, tells me he drops it off, takes off for another part of the South to continue on with his preachings. And that's when I said, "You're about an asshole." I'm sorry on the podcast. Yeah,
that's weird though. We found it.
It sounds like I tell you what, I'm pretty creative. I could spin that into a Stephen King novel. I mean, that's got all the elements, doesn't it not?
Right? It sounds like
a secret in a town, a secret preacher man, a dead couple. I mean, come on. And that's the book.
Yeah,
the guy claims
book-worthy. Yeah.
And I will tell you this. When someone sends me, and I just whether you believe that story or not, whether I believe it or not, it's immaterial, because what I tell everybody, my story would have me is tough, right? If anyone has a story to send to me, I listen to it without judgment. I will, if you want me to put it out, I put it out there. Yeah, because that's what I do today. Much like this guy, maybe this preacher man, maybe this is his way of looking for, I don't know, absolution in a strange way. I don't know. I don't know how people's minds work. I don't think any of us really do, unless you're a professional psychiatrist, right? Or psychologist.
Yeah, just put it out there and let
put it out there. And you put it out. You put it out there.
Yeah.
But it's one of the more popular ones. I get so many reviews back on the book about that, how they thought that was just so creepy and weird and strange, that preacher man.
Yeah, especially like the whole town was having all kinds of weirdness going on.
He's like, yeah.
Very
and so
weird.
what really hurts and breaks my heart about the whole story is, sure, you can bring it on this preacher. You can blame it on the preacher for not helping this couple. But what about the other idiots in town, the sheriff included?
Exactly. Who
didn't knew about
say a word. I guess that's the thing, when you talk about stigmatism and the paranormal, people just don't want to get stigmatized or their finger pointed at. They don't want to talk about it. They're too chicken.
Which brings me back to the whole thing about the dog man. What is it? I think the dog man is, some people suggest it's a hound of hell, a demon dog. They're terrified of it, and they're that scared of this thing that they did not want to say anything except maybe inclusively in their little group, perhaps.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about some paranormal elements, whether the Dogman is, I think Dogman is interdimensional myself, and I think it is a paranormal element. I think it walks between the veil, right?
Yeah, that's why what we talked about earlier. Find your people, because it's important.
So that's one of the stories. I have many stories in my books. There, we got Bigfoot, we've got alien abductions, we got Dogman, we got ghosts. So it's everything I've compiled over the years. And
Yeah,
the
because
shows are
some
kind of
people think about paranormal, they don't include that stuff, do they? But
no. I mean,
I
as
believe
far as
that it should be together.
anything that we don't know anything about to me is paranormal, including Bigfoot, Dogman, Mothman.
Yep.
Ant-Man, Stickman. I mean, you
That's
could
right.
everything
Cryptid
is
creatures, any kind of cryptid.
any cryptid creature.
Yeah.
And and in the paranormal element, a lot of these people just that walk in the woods think they're seeing Bigfoot. Well, I got news for you. Not everything's a Bigfoot. And I'm not talking about misidentification. I'm talking about paranormal entities pretending to be Bigfoot for whatever reason. You know what I mean?
Yep. Shapeshifters. So, Rob, do you want to give a shout out to your fans and tell everybody listening on where to find you, BMR, Bigfoot, Michigan?
Yeah, no, it's pretty easy. I set this up purposely a long time ago. Like the book is Bigfoot in Michigan Rob. Typed it in your Amazon browser, and both books will pull up. So thanks for that. My channel is simply called Bigfoot Michigan Rob on YouTube. And go subscribe or check it out. See if you like it. I appreciate that. And I'm on Facebook, BMR Rob Carr, Brunch with Bigfoot Michigan Rob Facebook group. I'm also on Instagram and X, formerly Twitter, at Rob_Bigfoot. Yeah.
Everybody follow Rob. Find him on all kinds of different places on Beyond BMR, the Late Night, and the Brunch with Bigfoot, and get his books and check them out.
Yep,
and you're gonna love him. Get in his chat room. There's lots of people to talk with. Don't be shy about talking about stuff. You're very welcome to get in there and join and talk with the group.
And I'm glad you mentioned that about like the quote unquote fans, the people in the chat room, and even the people that don't go and chat. I love them just as equally. I will say this: all the people that are friends of mine in this field that have other podcasts, we promote a safe, healthy environment. We don't allow people to disparage guests. We don't allow people to disparage people that have opinions in the chat room. Your opinion is your opinion. I mean, you can't be abusive, obviously, but your opinion is your opinion. And, we don't, it's no troll zone like most people claim to say, but we really
it's a safe zone. Yeah.
It's a safe zone to go, safe space, because we're all like-minded people that come into my my community.
And Paranormal NL Podcast is a certified Safe Space Alliance too. And you can also check that out, Rob, if you're interested. The certified safe space. I can send you information about that. So everybody, thank you for tuning in to UPRN, United Public Radio Network. I'm 107.7 FM in New Orleans and 105.3 FM on that Gulf Coast. Now we're going to leave you with a little bit of Bog Team music, boots on the ground music. You want some metal, rock, rap? What are you into?
Oh, I'm in everything. I like metal, rock, rap.
Okay.
I like it all.
We'll leave it with some Bog Team. I call it the 80s metal. And you can download this on all streaming platforms. Music by the Bog Team member, Robert Dumont. And thanks again, Rob, for being on the show. Everybody follow Bigfoot Michigan Rob.
Thank you.
Where the whispers start, ghostly figures in the midnight hour, specters grip with icy cold power. Bigfoot's roar echoes through the trees.
I like the Bigfoot part.
Yeah, I know.
We'll keep it rolling until we hit the 1.0 mark. Thanks again, Rob.
You're welcome. Thank you.